Hello everyone, today we're gonna model this simple armchair and we'll be using simple geometries and only a few modifiers. So let's start. Let's start by deleting the existing cube just like we always do and add another cube with a dimension of 60 centimeters. Next, what we want to do is move the origin of the cube to the base. So let's put the cursor to the base, make the origin to the cursor and set the origin to 0. After that, let's add a loop cut in the middle since we'll only be modeling the half part. And then delete the left side and then add a mirror modifier. After the mirror modifier, we'll need a subdivision modifier. And let's just increase the subd to 2 for now. And let's try to get the shape of the base of the chair by adding another supporting loop cuts. Before going to the next part, let's select the side faces and inset them a bit, minimize the curvatures on the side. To start modeling the back and handrest of the chair, instead of creating another plane or a cube, we can simply take the same geometries on this rectangle. So let's just go to edit mode, select the faces and separate them from the selection. Now we will have the same object with the same modifiers. Next, we need to give it thickness. To do that, we can add a solidify modifier and drag it to the top. Next, we can adjust the offset and thickness. In doing so, we can look for the desired shape by playing with the edges. Since the shape is symmetrical, let's place the edge loops right in the middle. Once we decide on the thickness of the solidify modifier, we can apply it and play with the edge loops to get the shape. For the backrest, let's do the same technique. Separate the geometry, give it thickness, and adjust the edges. When applying the solidify modifier that has mirror attached to it, it will generate additional faces in the middle, which is not needed. So let's go into edit mode and delete the unnecessary faces. Now that we have the primary shapes that we want, let's minimize the sub-D modifier and apply the modifiers to create the proper topology. Here, it looks like the sub-D modifier with level 2 is too much, so let's undo our last step. Only apply the modifier on level 1. After doing that, we still want the surfaces to be smooth and to look inflated. So the simplest way to do this without making the geometry heavy to handle is to add another subdivision modifier without applying it. To create this puffy look, all we have to do is select the looping edges, level them, and extrude them along their normals. To create the legs, we can simply add a cylinder, adjust the size. Next, we can add bevel for the edges and mirror modifier to duplicate the geometry in a quick way. When scaling a geometry in object mode, always remember to apply the scale when adding modifiers so you can get the appropriate results. Now let's start creating the pillow. To make that, let's add a plane with 30 centimeters. Add a subdivision of level 50 in edit mode. Select all the faces and extrude. Next, add a loop cut in the middle. Push it out a bit by scaling it. After that, let's go to the physics tab, add the close simulation to it. Go to the pressure, give it 8 levels, go to the field weight and turn down the gravity to 0. Now play the animation and the simulation will start taking effect. You can stop the animation at any time as long as you get the desired shape. Next, let's go ahead and apply the simulation by converting the geometry to a mesh. To smooth everything, we can add a sub-D modifier with level 1. Now that we have the pillows ready, let's place it on the corner before making further edits. To make the pillow look more real, let's go to sculpting window and play with some brushes. The brushes we'll be using are the grab brush, the smooth brush, and finally expand contrast gloss to make the faces behave like a fabric. To set up the materials in a quick way, we can use the pre-blender kit add-on. Go to the materials and search for fabric. You can use a different material or color if you want to get a different look. The fastest way to unwrap your model is to select everything, press U, and Smart UV Unwrap. When using subdivision modifier, we can sometimes run into a problem where textures will stretch if they don't have enough supporting edge flow. To fix this, you can try three options. The first one is going to the modifier, open the advanced tab, under UV Smooth, choose the option Keep Corners Junctions Concave. The second option is simply adding loop cuts on the areas where the textures are stretching. If these two options don't work, the third option is to add additional subdivision to the geometry by going to Edit mode. as a final step, let's add a plane to create the floor and backdrop for the scene. Next, adjust cameras and render settings for a simple render output. So, as a tip, when rendering multiple angles of the same product, you can use keyframes on different angles and render them as an animation sequence. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.